The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Following California's near no-hitter of the Detroit Tigers on Monday, last night these two teams met again in Anaheim, and the Angels rolled away with it early, 6-2. Reggie Jackson got it started in the first. He doubled home Bobby Grich in the first to make it 1-0. Then Larry Herndon tied the game at 1 with a solo shot. But Freddie Lynn's homer for California in the bottom of the second put the Angels ahead, and that's the way they stayed. Reggie Jackson hit a solo shot in the third. Brian Downing hit a sac fly in the fourth to make it 4-1. Following Alliance Parish single to score Richie Hebner in the sixth, the Angels finished tonight with 2 in the seventh. Bobby Grich on a single and Reggie Jackson on a sac fly. Ken Forsch goes the route. Dan Petrie takes the loss. The Angels are now 31-19. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1982. Today, June 2nd, the Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. It'll be Kevin Saucier for the Tigers and Jeff Zahn for the Angels. On a rainy 80-degree day in Southern California. Yep, it's a light rain. There's no wind. It's 80 degrees, and the Angels are looking for their third straight. They've gotten some help they've gotten no help, really. The White Sox are still within 3.5 games. Baltimore has cut Detroit's margin to 3 games in the East. We expected Baltimore to kind of go through with this, and so tonight, the second of our 2 games from this series, between the Tigers and the Angels. And it is the ace, Jeff Zahn, who's 7-1, going for the Angels against Kevin Saucier, who is normally a reliever and can only throw 85 pitches. So, that's the story as we head into this. California in better shape, and the Tigers' big lead has been whittled down. And if this isn't indeed a preview of the American League Championship Series, you got to be pretty happy if you're the Angels. And as we take a look at the field, we say hello to Robbie and Bobby and Clinton. How are we all today? Hopefully Clinton's feeling better, and Mr. Mike is with us today as well. And if you saw the Band-Aids on my hand and the camera, today was blood draw day, and they normally are as unsuccessful as that. It took them 2 times to get it. In the words of my wife, I'm a tough prick. But we got my blood out, and so I can finally find out what my results are. All right, on to the game itself. Jeff Zahn is on the hill, and he's 7-1 on the year with a 3.21 ERA. That's the good news for the Angels. The bad news is in 10 starts, he's allowed 84 hits in 73 innings. And didn't merit a picture. His last start came against Milwaukee, when he threw a no decision over 7 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 4, and has walked 21 with 20 strikeouts. Now Zahn threw almost 230 innings. He only struck out 81 on the year. So in the rain, California needs a strong performance from Zahn because they have a huge advantage over the spot starter for the Tigers. Speaking of which, here's how Detroit will line up. It'll be Chet Lemon in right field leading off. Enos Cabell at third will bat second. Kirk Gibson, the center fielder. This is pretty much the same lineup they ran out there last night for Memorial Day. Mike Ivy's a DH. I don't know if Mike has pictures of Sparky Anderson or what. Larry Herndon is in the left. He'll bat fifth. Lance Parrish, catcher, will hit sixth. Tom Brookins will bat seventh and play second. No Lou Whitaker today. Johnny Walkenfuss will play first and bat eighth, and Alan Trammell, the shortstop, will hit ninth. Seth, how you doing? Jack Clinton, you can hear me? I assume people can hear me. I assume people can hear me. Yep, I'm showing I have a voice. All right, Brian Downing is at left. He's a 6 and a 3 in left field. Freddie Lynn, 7 and 5 in center. Reggie Jackson, a 3 and 6 in right. If I don't have a voice, that made the first 5 minutes very odd. Yep. Seth's off work today. He's getting ready for opening day. It's cold here. I think it's like 10 degrees. Doug DeCince is at third. He's a 9 out of 10. Tim Foley at short. He's a 6. Bobby Gritch is 7 at second. Ron Carew is 7 at first. And Bob Boone behind the plate at 10 and a 9. Oh, you had me checked there, Rear Admiral. So Lemon at 347, 5 homers and 29 RBI. For the Tigers, game 48. For the Angels, game 51. And Zahn's ready, and Lemon hits this one right to Foley, and that's how this one starts. 1 out. Brings up Enos Cabell at 267, a homer and 17 RBI. I'm sure the Tigers will be ready to get home. They split a doubleheader with Oakland on Sunday, and then have lost the first 2 games of this big series here in Anaheim. Pitch to Cabell, and there's a little liner foul right field side, down to play. So a good-sized crowd on hand despite the light rain. Count is 0-2. Zahn delivers, and that's a ground ball to Foley over to Carew. 2 out. So Zahn doing what he needs to do, just put the ball in play and let your defense take care of it. Here's Kurt Gibson. Giving it 258, 7 homers and 24 RBI. Got him! He chased an 0-2 pitch outside the zone. And the Tigers go quietly in their half of the first. Half an inning in the books, no score. And so Kevin Saucier, who, as I said, is primarily a reliever. 4-1 on the year with a save. And an ERA of 3. This is his lone start. And his nickname is Hot Sauce, by the way. His last time out was 10 days ago against these Angels. And he didn't record it out. I believe we did that game, as a matter of fact. That kind of rings a bell. Allowed a hit, a run, and earned a walk, too. So 15 innings, 16 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, no homers. Walked 12 and struck out 12. The save came against the White Sox. This is his lone start of the year. He was a spot starter. And the defense around him, Larry Herndon at 8 and 5 in left. Kurt Gibson at 6 and 6 in center. Chet Lemon at 5 and 9 in right. Enos Cabell at 2 at third, and that's bad. Alan Trammell at 9 at short. Tom Brookins at 3 at second. And John Walkenfoot at 2 at first. That defense outside of Trammell's terrible. Parrish at 5 and 8 behind the plate. Here's the Angel lineup. Brian Downing will lead us off. Rod Carew will bat second. Bobby Gritch will hit third. Reggie Jackson cleans up. Don Baylor, the DH, will bat fifth. Freddie Lynn will hit sixth. Doug DeCince bats seventh. Tim Foley eighth. And Bob Boone ninth. Jeff Zahn threw all of 10 pitches in the first. And Downing, who had the big hit last night, threw 49 homers and 21 RBI. Throwing some soft, and he draws ball 4. So a 3-2 pitch was high. And then I'll bring up Rod Carew. Rod is at 350, a homer and 20 RBI. He's not going to bunt. And Downing just takes a nice lead off at first. Pitch from Kevin. Got away from Parrish, and Downing will take the extra base on the wild pitch. So it's 3-1 to Carew. Saucier delivers. Ground ball up the middle. Brookins behind the bag and second over to Walkenfoot for the out. So Downing goes to third. And there's 1 out for Bobby Gritch, who's at 227, 7 homers and 27 RBI. The computer thinks he's got a 318 batting average in this at-bat, but primarily a single. Saucier's pitch, ball 4. And so 1 out and runners in the corners and 1 out, or 2 on. Downing on third, Gritch on first for Reggie at 322, 13 homers and 35 RBI. But there's a 52.3% chance that Jackson strikes out. Here's the pitch. Yep. He's in at the knees, and Jackson was looking for a change and took a 97-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees. 2 out for Don Baylor. At 251, 11 homers and 32 RBI. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the first. Pitch from Saucier, and Baylor nubs out one to Trammell. Long throw to Walkenfuss at first, and that will retire the side. So the Angels threaten but do not score. No runs, no hits, no errors. After one, the Tigers and Angels are scoreless. Breakfast and baseball on the left coast. No, he's not, I would consider an opener. This obviously is a spot start. It's his only start of the year. And he threw 27 pitches in the first, but generally you would think that maybe he can milk out 5 before going to the Tiger pen. Here's Mike Ivey, 159, 4 homers and 12 RBI. Zahn's pitch, and there's a ground ball to the Sensei. Over to Peru, 1 out. So Larry Herndon steps to the plate at 319, 13 homers and 42 RBI. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, it'll be the White Sox and the Royals from Kansas City. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left. Back goes Downing to the track. Makes the catch. 2 out for Lance Parrish at 299. 5 homers and 23 RBI. So this is a Wednesday game technically, and tomorrow's game is a Wednesday game. Pitch from Zahn. Parrish is gone. He looked at a curve on the inside corner at the knees, and the Tigers go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1.5, it's still zip, zip. Oh, Seth, I'm a Nat and a Red Sox fan. You know that. Here's Freddie Lynn. Freddie, speaking of the Red Sox, Freddie at 320, 6 homers and 17 RBI. Saucier delivers, and there's a ground ball to Brookins over to Walkenfuss for the out. Brookins had to range behind the bag to get him. Here's the Sensei. Dug at 283, 10 homers and 26 RBI. Pitch, ball 4. So the Angels are in business again. Full count, fastball was low. Saucier can hit 97 on the gun. But control is the issue. Here's Timmy Foley. Tim at 296, a homer and 17 RBI. Pitch from Saucier. There's a ground ball, little nubber to Cabell. Long throw to Walkenfuss, and Foley beat it out. It was a high bounder. Cabell does not have the best of defensive abilities, but I'm surprised he didn't go to second to get the Sensei. And with 1 out and 2 on, here's Boone. Yep, it should be a California game, but that's why we play him out. Pitch to Boone, who I didn't get the numbers for. Ground ball to Brookins. Over to Trammell for 1. Over to Walkenfuss. Call it 2. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 2. Detroit nothing, California nothing. So Brookins, Walkenfuss, and Trammell for the Tigers here in the 3rd. Tom at 239, 2 homers and 8 RBI. And Zahn's ready, and he got him. Swung on and missed. An off-speed pitch on a 1-2 count. Gives Zahn his 3rd strikeout. Brings up John Walkenfuss at 283, 3 homers and 13 RBI. Seth says out of the park 20 was released yet. Was it released yesterday, or they just talked about it yesterday? I didn't get an email that they released it. I'm not buying it anyway, at least not right now. Here's the pitch to Walkenfuss, and that's a base hit up the middle. Bobby Gritch should have gotten there. And so Walkenfuss has the first hit for the Tigers, and we won't have a no-hitter situation again late in the game. Trammell, Allen is at 227, 2 homers and 20 RBI. Yeah, they talked about it. I think it's going to be late March. It'll fly right by, though, Seth. Yes, definitely a platoon lineup for the Tigers against the lefties on. Pitch to Trammell as a ground ball up the middle. Gritch to Foley for one. Over to Carew. Call it 2. So the side is retired. No runs, a hit, and no errors after 2.5. It's the Tigers nothing, the Angels nothing. And through 9 batters, Saucier is probably halfway home. This pitch-wise, he's at 42 pitches. 2 innings, a hit. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. No score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Downing walked to start the ballgame. Here's the pitch. And Downing hits this one in the left center field for a base hit. So the second hit for the Angels, and that'll bring up Mr. Carew, who's 0 for 1. Pitch from Saucier, struck him out. A 0-2 pitch caught the outside corner at 97, and all I can do is shake his head. So here's Gritch. Bobby walked his first time up. 1 out with 1 on in a scoreless game here in Anaheim. 79 degrees, not a breath of wind. You can smell the money being made at Disneyland from here, and the light rain falls. Hit from Saucier. Gritch hits this one down to 3rd. Cabell's only plays to 1st, and they got him. Downing moves to 2nd, and there's 2 out for Reggie Jackson, who struck out his first time up. Reggie's been patient at the plate. He's only struck out 33 times. On the real year, he struck out 156. Pitch to Reggie, struck him out. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He got him with a change. No runs, a hit, no errors. The Angels leave another one on after 3. Tigers nothing, Angels nothing. This is MLB Lunchtime Replay on Retro Sports Network. And Jeff Zahn, through 3 innings, has thrown a measly 33 pitches. He does not belong to the Clinton Park School of Early League Baseball. He's allowed a hit and struck out 3. Levin is 0 for 1. And the pitch from Zahn, there's a little nubber folding in on the grass over to Carew for the out. So Zahn's doing his part, but the Angels aren't really cooperating. It's much like Pashnik the other night for the Tigers. Pitched a heck of a ball game. Only gave up 2 runs, but the Tigers were 2 hit. Bell is 0 for 1. Enos grounded out to Foley in the 1st. Pitch from Zahn. There's a ground ball to Foley. On the runs, goes to Carew. Got him. Oh, it's Southern California. People go to Disneyland no matter the weather. There's Kirk Gibson. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Zahn, as I said, is with 3. 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Ground ball to 1st. Carew flips it to Zahn to retire the side. So the Tigers go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3.5, it's the Tigers nothing, the Angels nothing. I went to Disney World as Don Baylor steps up. He's 0 for 1 on Easter Sunday, 1982. So this year, as a matter of fact, 37 years ago. And the lines were ridiculously long. And it was so humid in Orlando that would it matter if it rained or not? You're going to need a shower the second you get back in your room anyway. Saucier's pitch, and there's a base hit up the middle between Trammell and Brooklyn. So 3rd hit for the Angels, and that brings up Mr. Lynn. Freddie grounded to 2nd. His first time up. Pitch from Saucier, ball 4. Yep. Zahn can do some, and that's why he pitched so many innings. Here, runners on 1st and 2nd as Lynn took the 3-1 low and away. Here's the sensei. He walked his first time up, and Saucier better find the plate if he wants to make it through the 4th. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Trammell, and he can't make a play anyway. That got off his hand. He booted it, And by the time they got it, Baylor was on third, Lynn was on second, DeCinces was on first for Timmy Foley. And Tim singled his first time up. And that's why Disney World never closed, Seth. When I went, it was flooding in the stairways, but we made it through most of it in the Hollywood studios. There was about 5 inches of water. They got their money. They don't care. Pitch to Foley. That's going to be a ground ball to Brookins. He goes to Trammell for one over to Walkenfuss. And nope, he's safe, and the run scores. So Baylor scores, or there's only one out anyway. So Baylor scores, Foley's on first. The Angels are on the board, 1-0. Lynn is on third, Foley on first. I didn't give you Bob Boone's numbers his first time, up 234 now with a homer and 15 RBI. He grounded into a double play, and boy, would the Tigers love him to do that again. Parrish and Saucier have a few words. And the pitch to Boone is a bounder right back to Saucier. Tigers trying for two. Throw to Brookins for one. Over to Walkenfuss. And they got him. So the double play is indeed the pitcher's best friend. We go to but the Angels get a run. We go to the fifth. 1-0 California. Yeah, I went to once, and that was the last time I ever did Florida. I'll tell that story. It was about a month from now, I think. Mike Ivey at the plate. It'll be Ivey, Herndon, and Parrish here in the top of the fifth. 1-0 Angels. Ivey's 0 for 1. Liner to DeCinces at third, and makes a fantastic diving stop along the line. Oh, baby. 1 out for Larry Herndon. I suppose if you live down there, it's a nice place. I mean, I had nothing against Disney, except for the price. Excuse me. Seth is going down this summer. Hopefully Seth will bring a change of skin, because he'll be worn out in that Florida sun. Pitch to Herndon is a liner in the left field that goes around the corner. DeCinces should have had it, and he doesn't. Downing gets it, throws over to second, and Larry's in standing up with a double. So the Tigers have the tying run and 1 out for Lance Parrish, who struck out his first time up. Braves are going to be a fun team to watch this year, Seth. So if you do get the chance to go, go. That's a new stadium, too. Pitch to Parrish. Ground ball, base hit, left side. Herndon will score. Parrish will hold at first, and the Tigers have tied this puppy up at 1. The Parrish just kind of put one where there weren't any defenders, and here's Tom Brookins. He struck out his first time up. Randy, I'm going to go on camera and tell you my Florida story after this half inning. As I said, Brookins struck out his first time up. Parrish on first. 1-1 to score. Top the fifth. Ball 4. And Zahn seems to have lost some of his magic here in the fifth. So John Walkenfuss, who singled his first time up. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1 Tigers and Angels. Pitch from Zahn Walkenfuss. Little liner right to Foley for the out. And 2 out. Hot, I suppose, is a relative term. If you're from the South, I suppose it's not going to feel, it's going to feel normal. But for those of us who are from the North, particularly the Northeast, hot is a relative term. Trammell grounded into a double play his first time up, grounds this one to Gritch, over to Carew, and that retires the side. Dave Tobit's coming in to pitch. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Saucier is going to get a no decision. It's the Tigers 1, the Angels 1. And before we do Dave Tobic and all that, as I said, I went to Florida Easter Sunday or Easter week 1982. We had a summer break, And so back then it was cheaper to fly out of Montreal than it was the United States. So in the freezing rain, we drove from the town I lived in at the time, Poland, to Montreal. And then we flew from Montreal to Boston, and then from Boston to Philly, and then from Philly to Tampa. And we landed at Tampa about 1:30, quarter 2 in the morning. And so, like I said, it was 32 degrees when we left to get in the plane. You get out of the air conditioning on the plane. It's about quarter of 2 in the morning. And between the jetway, until you get in the terminal, it wasn't air conditioning. And so it felt, we were dressed for winter. We were coming from New England. And so you get into the jetway and you get nailed by this wall of humidity. And it really felt like you were getting put into a warm, wet blanket. And that's the way that entire week felt. For those of you who enjoy it, God bless you, because no way, no how. And that's Cranky Uncle Ron's story of the day. Florida's hot and melting. Oh, you were born in Florida, huh? Did 2 tours in the Navy. My first wife was complete embarrassment down there. Thought she was superior and never did get the term. Bless her little heart. And Randy lived in Baltimore for 20 years before moving here in '96. Yep, it is a different heat, but the humidity is just... I don't really wear a jacket in the wintertime. I run very, very warm. And so Florida is my kryptonite. Anyway, Dave Tobic hopes to be the Angels' kryptonite. Dave is 3-1 on the year with 1 save and an ERA of 1.08. In 16 2/3 innings, he's allowed 7 hits. This is his 8th appearance of the year. His last time out was 10 days ago against the Angels. He went an inning at Tiger Stadium, striking out 2 and getting a save. I bet I did that game. That sounds familiar. He's not allowed a home run. He has walked 2 and struck out 11 on the year. And conceivably, he could go 90 pitches. So he faces the top of the lineup, 3rd time through. Brian Downing has walked and struck out. Yep. Yeah. It gets humid here in New England too, and in the summertime there just isn't a lot of wind, and so it gets muggy. Pitch to Downing is a ground ball to Brookins over the walk and push 1 out. So I suppose to get back now that the rain has just stopped. As soon as I said that, the weather changed, 76 and threatening. So for Southern California on the 2nd day of June, it's going to feel awful mucky because they're just not used to it. Carew is 0 for 2. Rodditt's got a strikeout. Pitch here, struck him out again. So a rare multiple strikeout game for Carew as he swung on and missed a 1-2 fastball. And that'll bring up Bobby Grich. Bobby's 0 for 1 with a walk. I don't know why that hit it for Seth. Thanks, whoever unhit that. Sub to the channel, it's free. Seth's getting his tickets for the Phillies, right? Rich is 0 for 1 with a 1. Here's the pitch, and there's a pop-up. Parrish takes off the mask and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 5. Tigers won, Angels won. I tell you what, though, you get those big cities, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore in the summertime, and it's brutal. There's just no place for the heat to go. Seth didn't like my humor there. Chet Lemon is 0 for 2, so through 18 batters, Jeff Zahn has gone 5 innings. He has struck out, or allowed 3 hits. The 1 run in the 5th was earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 3, but still only worked half his load, so he could go a long way. Lemon is 0 for 2 and lines out one right to DeCente, who makes another lining catch. Same to you, buddy. Same to you. And it was meant as a joke. Enos Cabell, who's 0 for 2. For those of you not involved in the Washington Nationals Bryce Harper saga, Clinton, I'd be curious on your thoughts of what's going to happen this first time that Harper goes on like a 1 for 15 slump. And they're home against the Braves and the Mets. If he thought Washington was nasty, Here's the pitch to Cabell. There's a base hit up the middle. Lynn picks it up off a hop. And Cabell is on with 1 out. Kurt Gibson is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Nah, I'm not mad he left either. I did a video about it. I actually think Washington is a better team without him there. There are people who will disagree with me on that, but I sincerely think he was the 800-pound elephant in the room, in the clubhouse. Gibson swings and misses. Strike 3 on a 0-2 curve. That's right, Randy. Harper goes to Washington, the second series of the year. And my MLB TV has been renewed. I can't wait to watch that. And Clinton says, this is the town that would boo Santa Claus. Are you kidding? I've told that story. I think I told it in the football game. Because that would make more sense. They get a bad reputation, but they did boo Mike Schmidt on a regular basis. And how the hell can you boo Mike Schmidt? Ivy's 0 for 2. Top the 6th, 1 on, 2 out. Don's pitch, ground ball to Gritch, over to Carew, and that retires the side. Oh yeah, absolutely. They booed the Fanatic, and God help her, he pitched the wrong cheesesteak joint, and out. And Harper, I love it. Seth is right. Harper said that, he's going to help bring a World Series to D.C. That's not actually, Robbie, that's actually a good contract. Philadelphia did not overpay. Harper won the largest contract in history, and Philadelphia said, we'll just do it over 13 years. The last 5 years are going to be rough for Philadelphia, maybe. But that's not an overpay. That's what Mookie Betts is going to get, and Mike Trout probably will get about $350 to $400. Here's Reggie Jackson, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And Gabe Kapler is a Zenobé. Oh yeah, that relationship between Harper and Kapler should be interesting, to say the least. Much as it is between me and my doctor. No, I like my doctor. Much as it is between the average husband and mother-in-law. Pitch to Reggie. Foul ball, third base side. Cabell gives chase, and that's out of play. So 1 and 2 to count. Reggie has struck out twice. Tobic delivers, and there's a ground ball to Walkenfuss. That was stung, and Walkenfuss will take it to the bag for the first out. Brings up Don Baylor. Singled and scored the lone run in the game for California in the 4th. All right, Bobby, take care. Gabe reminds me of a Marine Corps general. Yep, that's about the size of it. And I'm not sure how well Harper's going to adjust to that. Here's Don Bailey. Don is 1 for 2. Oh, no, that was foul. I already did that. Pitch. Struck him out. 1-2 fastball on the inside part of the plate, and Dave gets the strikeout. That's his second. Here's Freddie Lynn. 0 for 1 with a walk. I think Kimbrel goes to the Braves. But that's going to be tight all the way. That NL East is going to be fun this year. Freddie's 0 for 1. Lynn walk. Nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And there's a base hit left side over Trammell. And the Angels have their 4th hit of the game. 1-4-1 for the Tigers and 1-4-0 for the Angels. But the Sensei is 0 for 1 with a walk. Tobic deals, and there's a base hit in the right field. 11 picks it up off a hop. Lynn goes into third, and the Angels again have runners in the corners and 2 out for Tim Foley, who has the lone RBI for California in the game. How you doing, Al? I definitely could see a game 163. The Sensei's best year of his career. And if you're wondering, the Sensei is autocorrects to devices. But Randy's also right. Any current year is the best year for your device, which makes 2 years ago it looked like crap. Pitch to Foley. There's a base hit in the right center field. Lynn will score. The Sensei goes to third, and the Angels go ahead 2-1. And speaking of bad bullpens, the Angels have a terrible one. Here's Bob Boone. With 2 out, he can't do it again, but he's grounded into 2 double plays. So the Sensei on third, Foley on first. Yeah, that last game of the season is always fun. Pitch to Boone. Ground ball to Trammell. Long throw to Walkenfuss, and the side is retired. And so the Angels get a go-ahead run on 3 hits and no errors. After 6, California 2, Detroit 1. It'll be Herndon, Parrish, and Brookins to face Vaughn here in the 7th. Larry's got a double, and he scored the lone Tiger run in the 5th. Yep, that 2017 first half for the Nationals, that pen was right up there on muddy, rutted New England road in March. You might have gotten through, but you were definitely knew where the liquor cabinet was when you got home. Pitch from Zahn is a liner to Foley, 1 out. So Zahn is on pace to go the distance. We'll get to that in a minute. That was a fun game. I caught the end of that this morning, Robbie. Lance Parrish is 1 for 2. He's got an RBI single. And he's also struck out, one of the 4 reported by Zahn. Here's the pitch. And a liner right to the Sensei again. The Sensei's just catching those ropes at 3rd. And there's 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Tom Brookins. Tom has struck out and walked. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Zahn. And there's a fly ball to left. Back goes Downing, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Elias Sosa and you coming in the pitch. We're going to the bottom of stretch time here in California. Angels 2, Tigers 1. Sosa, in his 15th appearance of the year, he's 2-0 with 2 saves and a 4.50 ERA. He last went Sunday in that doubleheader against Oakland. He allowed 3 hits in 2/3 of an inning and an earned run. So on the year, 24 innings, 26 hits, 4 home runs. He's walked 5, and struck out 11. 2-0 with 2 saves. He pitched in Tiger Stadium against these Angels on May 23rd. 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. So top of the lineup, Downing, Carew, and Gritch. Downing 1 for 2. And just in case you joined us late, Kevin Saucier was the spot starter for the Tigers. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, and unearned run. Walked 4 and struck out 3. Tobic, good 2 innings. 3 hits, an earned run, and 2 strikeouts. And Jeff Zahn is happy motoring his way to his nearest Exxon station. He has 30 pitches to get 6 outs. So Downing 1 for 2. He's single and walked as we start the bottom of the 7th, and he draws a walk to start the frame. Full count. Pitch was the ball, and that brings up Carew, who has struck out twice. 0 for 3. Yeah. The Rays, though, are the MacGyvers of baseball. They never spend any money and always assemble these rosters that play their hearts out. A fun team to watch, just much like the Expos from this era. You just don't want to see how the movie ends. And I do think that the Braves get Kimbrel. And I think they'll be fine. Pitch to Carew. They're playing for the bunt. Carew slaps this one into right field in front of Lemon, however, and that's a single. And so runners on first and second. Nobody out for Bobby Gritch. Bobby is 0 for 2 with the walk. Angels could use another run here as we play the bottom of the 7th. We're up 2-1, and that's the ball game. I didn't notice it had started to rain. Here you go, Robbie Wartburg. You got yourself a rain out. Toasters, cards, and coins. And so there you go. Kind of off the Pacific Ocean, and it rained. And because it's an official game, now Sparky is talking to the umpires, but they're saying, this one's over, and California will win it. So Dave Tobic takes the loss. He goes to 3-2. And Sosa only faced 2 batters. Jeff Zahn goes the complete game. And so if you're wondering what happened, you got a rain delay, and it rained long enough for it to be called. So let's go through it. The Angels got up 1-0 over Detroit. A run on a hit. Lance Parrish timed the game in the top of the 5th. And then Tim Foley singled to Lindholm in the 6th, what ended up being the winning run. Now that's nuts. Does it say how long? It just says it rained out. And our Miller Lite MVP of the game is Jeff Zahn. All right, well, I'm going to get on camera. And I'm going to move my chat window over here. And if you got any questions, shoot them forward. We'll go another 5 or 10 minutes or so, but if you got any questions, feel free to ask. And so that was kind of strange. But yeah, it was technically an official game, and that was it. Because it was an official game, they decided they couldn't get the field ready, which was kind of strange because it's California. And that was it. So yeah, the rare decision to actually rain out a game. What would have happened if it was tied? They would have made up a delay of X amount of time, and they would have just finished the game. The game isn't clever enough to do a suspended game, and a suspended game would have to be completed from that point. And since this really is an as-played replay, there really is no point in doing that. You can have a rain delay, or you can suspend the game. But that's one of the cool things about Action PC Baseball, is that you can actually get rainouts once the game is official. And in California, of all places, who was it the other day? I think it was it Mark Forsberg that was playing PC Replay, and he had a rain delay in Arizona. Think about this for a minute. Not only was the game in Phoenix, but there's a roof inside. A roof over the building. How do you have a rainout in an enclosed stadium? Do I play OTP? Is that what you were asking? Do I play onto? Well, sometimes I go onto the freeway and, run around a bit. But it's Vermont and it's cold, so it's kind of to do that. So, yeah, imagine that, a rain delay in Arizona. So, let's see. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we will do the White Sox and the Royals from Kansas City. And then Thursday afternoon, the 4th game of the week will be the San Francisco and Chicago. Now, Clinton says Status Pro plays that differently. I wouldn't, that's the one thing about this type of game, is that I wouldn't have wanted this to be rained out. I'd want it to continue. It's a tight game. You got 2 good teams. You got a good house here. You got 10 people watching right now live. And no, you want that to continue, but, random numbers generate random numbers. So, Randy, are you asking if I play OOTP? I'll give that a minute. Has anyone else got any questions before we call this a stream? Kind of a bummer that that's the case. How you doing, Tribes fan? The game was just rained out. You can go back and watch it on demand. Not a rain out on my end. The cat is not even in the room. We got to the bottom of the 7th. Robbie sang the 7th inning stretch, and then the computer decided it wanted to rain. As far as I guess you're asking if I play OOTP, and the answer is no. I do fictional stuff with it, but not like a replayer that. I just find it too it's hard for me to get into. Robbie says it's nice when The Sims had the feature, though. It's nice when Sims had the feature, though, because there's those that don't forget about those things in baseball. That's true. I like it, and it's an option here. You can shut it off, but there's no reason to do that. Because, as Robbie says, it's part of the game. Earl Friedman asks, how does the game handle retractable roofs? We had a situation like that a couple weeks ago, although there was not a retractable roof. or indoors, where there's just a disturbance in the stands. It's much like what you do with APBA. And so you get the same delay of time. I think it was Houston and San Francisco and somebody. And there was a disturbance in the stands, and there was a 25, 30-minute delay. The starters, I think, were still in. And what happens is it just ruins the endurance of your starters. Doesn't have anything to do with the field. The wind obviously has effects with the ballpark in that, but it's a good variable. I mean, you wouldn't want, and as Robbie says, you don't want everything to go the same. It's just that since this replay here is exclusively streamed for you guys, you just want them to go full games. All right, another question or two if you got it, and if not, we'll call it a day. Tonight, ID Jester interviews Delaware's Tenacious Earl. That's coming up at 8:30 tonight Eastern Time. Note the time, 8:30, not 8 o'clock. And he and Tenacious Earl are going to talk cards and dice baseball. ID on his channel started a 2017 one-and-done tournament using the NPNG engine. And the first game from that was streamed in the early hours of this morning between the Rangers and the Mariners. I won't spoil it who won, but it was a hell of a ball game. And if you're not subscribing to that channel, please do, because that one was for the books. You always want to begin a tournament on a bang. So one last call for questions here. So the Angels win this game 2-1. Jeff Zahn goes 7 innings and gets the complete game. And the Tigers probably don't mind too much. They're not going to want the loss. But this was going to be a bullpen buster game. Kevin Saucier only went 4 innings, and they were already on their third pitcher in the 7th. So, anything else? So, what else we got coming up on the channel this week? We're going to have 2 Celtic games for you between Saturday and Monday. I'm not sure if we'll do one of those. Will be an off day. They're going to play the Kansas City Kings in the first game of their weekend in Boston, and then they traveled to Philadelphia to play the 76ers, or when Larry met Dr. J, the first meeting, I think, between those 2 teams. That's what we got going on over the weekend on this channel. And so I think with that, guys, I think we're going to say thank you so much. I'm Ron Juckett. Well, hopefully we'll get in a full game tomorrow night. But Kansas City, the weather there's always notorious. So DJ John, Tribe Fan, Earl Friedman, Robbie, Clinton Parks, Seth Rocks, Randy Luxembourg, Al Red Sox Fan, Bobby Catalano, and anyone else I might have missed. Thank you so much for spending your lunch hour with me. ID tonight at 8:30 with Tenacious Earl. And we'll talk to, I've got tomorrow, Dave Gardner and I do This Week on the E, and at noon. And so baseball back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Our primetime game of the week is the White Sox and the Royals from Kansas City. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll talk to you the next time.